Welcome to this video. Today I will go through the brand new MotionMaster 1.0.6 update. If you're new here, MotionMaster 3D is a camera tracking toolkit that I created to make it much easier to camera track your scenes in Blender as well as other things. So for example, it includes real-time camera tracking, heavy tracking using cold map and glow map, mask generation, point cloud cleanup, alignment, perspective matcher, and so on and so on. But in this video, I will go through the latest update. If you want to get more information on MotionMaster, I suggest you checking out motionmaster3d.com or check out my previous video where I describe more in depth about all the different features that was included then. But now I will go through the latest update. But before I start, I want to go through a little overview what I will go through in this video. First, I will show you how to install MotionMaster and then also show you how to enable it in Blender. Then I will go through the different things that are new in the add-on. So first I will begin with the new feedback and support system, which allows you to send me feature requests and bug reports and other things. I will also quickly go through the getting started page, which allows new users to get a quick intuition how to use MotionMaster for basic camera tracking. Then I will move on to the improvements in the heavy tracker in MotionMaster, which has received a new UI, which should make it much easier to use, and also the improvements in processing speed, because I have rewritten the GPU code so it should be much faster. Then I will move on to the perspective matcher, which allows you to make your camera match the perspective from any image. Then I will move on to the improvements that I have added in the masking panel, which now allows you to have multiple masks, both AI masks and also polygon masks, which are also animatable. I will show you how you can connect an AI mask and also a animated polygon mask and use that in the heavy tracker in order to get the perfect track. And then lastly, I will show you how to orient the scene and so on, and also clean up the point cloud with the point cloud cleanup tool. So let's start. So the first thing you gotta do is go into the MotionMaster 3D, and then just go into the download page and download the latest update. You can also read a little bit about the newest updates. But after that is done, you can go into the edit page and then in the preferences. And here in the preferences, you can just go into the get extension and install it from disk as you normally would. And then once that is done, you can go into the add-on section and search for MotionMaster and make sure that it says 1.0.6 over here. And then make sure that you just click this button in order to install all the Python packages. So once that is done, you can go into the end panel and then you will see a new MotionMaster 3D panel. The first new thing you will see is a new getting started window, which will just explain very briefly the different steps that is needed in order to get a camera track of your footage. Then the next thing that is changed is in the feedback and support panel, you will now see a new open feedback form. And here you can describe the feedback that you want to give, for example, a feature request or a bug report and so on, your Blender version, and also a description of what you are experiencing. You can also give a link to something that you want to share and also the importance level. Next, in the heavy panel, you will now see a updated GUI. I can make it a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. So first you will see that the UI is updated in order to make it a lot easier to actually use. I've also made it clearer when the GPU will be activated and when it's not activated. Crit section or the robust section, the GPU will be deactivated, so make sure to have these disabled and also this enabled if you want to use the GPU. And also another thing that you don't see but you will notice is a big improvement in the heavy tracking speed, because I have rewritten large parts of the GPU implementation of the add-on which makes it a lot faster, so you should see a big improvement when you process different footages. The next thing is a brand new panel down here, which is a perspective matcher. I can show how it works by just clicking load image. So now I have loaded the image and I can click start perspective match. This will make me jump into the camera view, and here you can see lines that you should orient according to your scene's lines. Basically similar how it is in F-Spy if you have used that software before. So I can first delete the cube in order to make it easier to see, and just align these lines to your footage. And just like that, then I can change the position of the origin. And once that is done, the camera's perspective is correctly set up. So now you can just add things that you would like to add into the scene, and it will perfectly match the perspective of the image that you uploaded. And another part that has been improved is in the masking section. You will now see that it can handle multiple mask layers. So if I begin by selecting a footage to demonstrate this. So here I have a footage that I will use. It is currently 1440p. And if you would like to make it 1080p, just to make it a little bit faster to process, I can quickly show how that will work. I would go into the video or sequence converter, just go into the image sequence, and just select the image sequence that I would like to convert, and then select the target resolution and convert the image sequence. After a while, we will see that a little pop-up appears here, which indicates that the entire sequence has been down converted. So here we can see that it has been successfully converted. And now if I go into the Explorer, you will see that we previously were in the 35 new folder, and it will create a new folder called 35 new underscore and then the resolution that you chose. So now I will just use this resolution as the sequence that I will actually use. So now in the masking panel, you will see that it recognizes a sequence. So in order to demonstrate this, I will first add a SAM2 layer, which is a AI mask. So I will click this, and as you notice, I currently don't have the small model downloaded. If I would like to download it, I can just go into the preferences, add-on, and then scroll down and install it here in the SAM2 model section. But for now, I already have the tiny model, and I think it works quite good for this demo. So I will just keep it at tiny, and then click here, create SAM2 mask. This will open a new window, which is also new for this update. So here I can use the timeline in order to view the different images, and to add a new mask, I can just click on the object that I would like to create a new mask on. And it is quite hard to see here, but you can see that the roof of the car is currently selected. So I will continue clicking one more time in order to select the entire car. And once that is done, I can just click confirm. So now we can see that the mask generation has started in the background, and after a while, it will generate a new folder with the mask. So now we can see that the mask has been created, and it is currently in the folder that was shown there. So now if I go back one step, we will see that the new object mask folder has been created. So what has happened here is that for each new layer that gets created, a new folder gets created which stores all the masks for that layer. So if I click here, we can see that it has masked out the car for all the different frames. And then you will also see a composed folder, which will be a composed version of all the mask layers that you have created and merge them together. So if I would minimize this and add now a polygon layer, which is new for this update, open the draw polygon mask. So here we can see the footage one more time. So now I'm able to draw a polygon of something that I would not like to have. So for example, in this case, we have already masked out the car. So I will just mask out this tower at the background just to demonstrate the possibility. So I will simply create a polygon. And now the mask is created and a keyframe here in the bottom is created. So if you're just happy with this, it will just mask it out as you see here. However, if we would like to animate it, I just move to another keyframe and move the mask to wherever I want. And you can see that a new white line is created in the timeline, which indicates that a new keyframe has been generated for the polygon mask. So I can create one at the end too. And now if I move through, we can see that it interpolates between the different keyframes. And to make it a little bit accurate, I can create a new keyframe between the different keyframes. So now if I move through the entire timeline, we can see that the tower is entirely covered throughout the footage. So now, in order to get this mask, I just click confirm. This will generate the mask. Once that is done, we will see a little pop-up appear. And just like that, the polygon mask is created. So if I now go into the Explorer one more time, we can already see that the composed mask is created with the two masks merged, and a new layer has been created in the object masks folder. And this time it only includes the polygon layer. So it's quite simple to work with because you will see all the different layers and the composed version. Now, in order to use this, I will close this down, and if I would like to camera track the footage, I just use the heavy tracker, and since my footage did not include any heavy zooming, I will keep this disabled, and it did not include any heavy rotation, and it wasn't so hard to track either, so I will keep this disabled. However, I will have this enabled in order to make it faster to run. For this showcase, I will not generate a dense point cloud, but if you would like to do that, you just need to enable the undistort, and then the dense option will be enabled. And with that dense generation, you can later then generate a mesh. But for now, I will just keep these two disabled. And I don't need the accurate or robust setting for this footage because it's already so easy to track. However, I will enable the mask option. And here I can decide what part of the footage that I want to track based on the mask. So as we saw earlier, the mask that gets generated covers the masked out areas with a white color, while the rest is in a black color. So for example, if you just want to track the white sections of the video, you can choose the track color to be the white color. This can be handy, for example, if you would like to camera track a object in your scene and then invert your camera track in the aligner tab. However, in this case, I will track the black parts of the footage. So I will just use the black color, and then I can just continue and click auto track heavy. This will show the progress in the progress bar. And as I mentioned earlier, now I have rewritten a lot of the GPU parts of the code, so it should be much faster for you to process your footage. So now we can see that the camera track is done, and we can see that the total time was only 2 minutes and 9 seconds, and that was included, and that also used the mask as a guide in order to track the footage. I could jump out of the perspective matcher, which I forgot to do earlier, by just clicking the done button. But now you will see that the camera track is generated. And one thing that you will notice is that no points were generated weirdly on the car because we masked it out. You will also see that no points were generated on the tower, which was here earlier. So if I want to see the background footage in my camera, I can just go in here, background images, and then in the movie clip, I can select my image sequence. And note here, you can select the higher resolution, the original resolution of your footage, or as in my case, I will just keep using the 1080p footage because it will be faster to preview here in Blender. And now the background footage is loaded, and we can see that the track seems to be very good. So now in order to rotate the footage correctly, I will just select the bounding box and orient it around the 3D cursor here in the middle. I can also remove the old camera, which we used earlier for the perspective matcher. So now we can see that the camera is correctly oriented, and we can see that the points are now on the ground. I can continue rotate the bounding box so the road roughly lines up with the y-axis. And just like that, we have tracked the entire footage and we have masked it out. And if you now would like to remove some of these points, we can use the point cloud cleanup tool. Just select the point cloud and click clean up point cloud. And just like that, the points got removed. So now you can do whatever you want with your footage. For example, add the Suzanne monkey. We can see that the monkey seems to stick quite well to the floor. So that was pretty much everything for the 1.0.6 update. And of course, there has been a lot of updates, for example, the 1.0.5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and so on. This is the newest one, so I suggest you using this one. And if there are any more features that you would like to see added in future updates, just write them in the comments or send them to me through the contact page or on my mail or something like that. You can also use the survey, which I will put in the description. Thanks to everyone who has already filled it out. I will make sure to read all the feedback that I get in the survey. In the survey, you can, for example, describe your biggest pain points with the MotionMaster and feature requests that you would like to see added. And I will make sure to read that feedback and see what I can do in order to fix it in future updates. So thanks for watching and bye bye.